Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad that all of you are back. For the new members, welcome, and for the existing members, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're part of the family. Today's reading will be a bit long, just to let you know beforehand, because there is a lot of stuff that we're going to cover. So the reading today is about which timeline are you ready to jump, and what are the signs that you are seeing to indicate that you have jumped a timeline. Then what type of energies are you in, what areas will be affected, and what are the signs that you'll see. So those are the three things that we'll see just regarding your timeline jump. You might have already jumped, you might be in the process of jumping, or you're ready to jump. And after the video I will within this video itself I will explain, after I've introduced the piles, like what timelines and timeline jumping essentially means. So if you want to learn more about that, stick around till the end. So getting back to the reading, yes, so the first part is which timeline are you ready to jump to, what energies, what areas, and what signs will you be seeing. The second part will be what lessons has your soul integrated, because of which this timeline jump is being feasible, is being possible. So it does not happen by chance, it does not happen magically. Our soul integrates certain lessons that it needs to learn, and only then can we kind of take the next step. If you don't you know uh, pass the first grade, you cannot jump to the third grade. You need to go to the first, second, and third grade. All right, so that's the simile you can kind of think of. And finally, when this timeline jump happens, maybe we'll try to find a timeline. Again, please always take time with a sort of grain, because it's never, this is a collective reading for so many of us, right? So it'll apply differently to you. So when this timeline jump might happen, and what are the blessings and what changes are you going to see in your life because of the fact that now you have moved into a newer timeline. So I have prepared three piles for you. This is pile number 1 with this beautiful card. Card number 30, Kujako Mio. This is a Japanese wisdom king. He's one of the wisdom kings of Japan, and he's one of the kindest ones. So this is pile number 1. This is pile number 2, Benzatin. She is the goddess of music and water, more like the Indian goddess Saraswati, you can think of. She might be comparable to that goddess Saraswati, because she also is like the uh, she gives the boon of music and arts and creativity and education and all that. So sorry. So this is pile number 2, and she's also the goddess of fortune along with that. You see the beautiful dragon. And for pile number 3, Jizo Bodastu. He is the savior who helps watch over all humanity, like the Buddha, you can say. Look at the little kids, this is so cute. So this is the third pile number 3. So whichever pile you are drawn to, you can listen to that pile. You can listen to all 3. You can skip it. You can mix and match. So essentially, always remember, you only listen to the messages that are meant for you. So it does not, you don't limit yourself to any pile. Just kind of go with your intuition and see whatever attracts you. So that is one, pile number 1, and I've also included some separate tarot decks, 1, 2, 3, so you can kind of select based on these also. Your choice. Ultimately, it's your intuition. Just select something and just go with it. All right. Don't let your conscious mind kind of trick you into picking something else. It usually does that. At least to me, it does that at times. So. I'll be posting the links in the description box for all the 3 readings. So you can go to the description and you can check out your reading. So for those ones who are still here who want to learn more about timelines, so essentially timelines are nothing but they are multiple paths that the soul can take to integrate different types of lessons. So like the soul is like, it's eternal, so it is not bound by the number of lifetimes it can reincarnate. So each soul has like multiple reincarnation pathways, you can say. So whichever pathway it chooses, whichever path it chooses, essentially they are life lessons that are to be learned along that path. And then that phase is over, that path is completed, and it's kind of closed and archived, so to speak. So a timeline jump essentially means that from one pathway you are jumping to the next one even before you've completed that. Why? Because maybe the lessons that you learned, which were to come later on during that path, you've already learned them. You kind of skipped a grade. Like some kids, they do so many things together and they're like, oh, I skipped 2 grades, and I'm from the first grade I skipped to the third grade, or from the 8th grade I skipped to the 9th or the 10th grade for that matter. So sometimes your soul is so advanced that it kind of decides to jump timelines, not because it wants to, it cannot, it is bound by karma, but because the fact that it has integrated those lessons and it has decided to, it's like, if I've already integrated that, why do I need to even go through the circumstance which will put me in a situation where I need to relearn the lesson. The soul doesn't do retakes unless and until you've not learned the lesson. That's the only reason why it does retakes. Why you are faced with the same situation again and again and again during in the same lifetime or multiple lifetimes, right? So when we are talking about a timeline jump, essentially there are some lessons that your soul integrated, maybe early on, maybe at the right time. It's always divine time, even early on is divine time. And now it is ready to move to a different pathway. It's ready to move to a different pathway. So you can think the problems or the challenges before that particular jump point, you've already covered that. So now you're moving into a newer pathway, which is always like a higher pathway. It's at a higher timeline than the one that you were already at. So you're moving up the ladder. All right. So that is a concept. In very, very simple terms, that is a concept of a timeline. So here in this reading, we'll figure out like, where you are and what signs are you going to see, which will kind of make you feel that, oh, my reality is looking different, it's feeling different. So those are the signs that we're going to see. Then we will see what lessons did your soul integrate. So just in the reading itself, you don't need to fit everything that is being channeled to your situation. Just select things that resonate with you. All right. So those will be the lessons that your soul has already integrated in itself. It's learned about it, and now it's ready to move on. And finally, when it moves on to the next higher timeline, when you jump into it, what blessings are you going to see? Because see, when you are jumping timelines, essentially we are raising our vibration, and once when we raise the vibration, they are good, they are better things. They are always better things that will come to us. So we are going to take a look at what better things are going to come to us, in that particular timeline, that we are creating or that we are jumping into. All right. So pile number 1, 2, and 3. So if you were here till the very end, thank you so much for listening in, and I hope that this kind of gave you a very like 30,000 foot overview of what we can think about jumping timelines means. And now you can select your pile. In the description, select whichever pile you are drawn to. You might, again, like I said, you might be drawn to multiple piles. Why? Because your soul has integrated those lessons in those piles as well. So again, just be open, just be open to the energies, see what you are drawn to, and I hope that this gives you some perspective, and it helps you in your journey towards like meeting with the divine. The moksha part of it. All right. So thank you so much for being here till the very end, and I will see you in your reading. Thank you. Bye-bye.